kind of the main event. We've got an amazing ecosystem that I'm so pleased has decided to come to the Follow the Entrepreneur. It's the brainchild of Mark Ishakov, who's coming up this way. We're going to, he's going to really take you through with his partners. Mark, please welcome Mark. And ETIOCA, Mark's an exceptional founder, he's a fascinating individual, and he brings a whole new way of thinking to the mobility ecosystem. You're going to be absolutely fascinated. Would you please welcome Mark Ishakov? Thank you. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Julia. From the short video.
Over time, differences among generations are getting bigger and bigger. Especially nowadays, we have the tendency to concentrate only on ourselves, easily distracted by superficial habits. Too often we forget about the truly important things in life, such as family ties, sociality, and culture. We want to act today and drive change by proving equal conditions and opportunities to the future generations around the world. The effect of our actions will be visible in the long term when we shall have a new generation of young adults who will grow up with an equal and healthy environment. The new generation shall not be affected by the typical conflict arising from the difference among generations we have assisted until today. When innovative technologies, industry know-how, qualified partners, and inspirational ideas converge, the impossible becomes reality. ETIOCA is a unique ecosystem of electric vehicles with a full range of services that combines circular economy, digital innovation, and environmental-friendly technologies to offer a sustainable solution for a better, safer, cleaner, smarter, and more inclusive future.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to say thank you, Julia. Thank you, Claire, that invited us to here and to be part of your event and part of your society. So it's our first meeting here with FTE. So it's not easy to implement ecosystem and not easy to explain what does it mean ecosystem. Everyone is talking ecosystem, but nobody understands deep what does it mean ecosystem and how it's work. So I will start from the end. And the end, it's very simple. The model that I implement is to generate enough cash liquidity to support the generation. So for the last 40 years, different institutions, they did search and analysis how much cost today, nowadays, to sponsorize baby. Our days, nobody was thinking, but if we will look around, that every second family divorced. Why? Because they are not sponsoring, they have enough money to support the children. They start with the small fighting inside the families, and by the end of the day, they divorcing. So we have a lot of families around of us, which they are not complete families. And it's affect our future. What we have, what kind of children we have around of us. Let's look. So we have a lot of problems. So, and I'm here, and my team and all our partners that we are meeting them during the last year that we are doing the roadshow, they are supporting us, and they are joining our ecosystem because they believe that what we are doing, everybody should be doing. So I want to tell you that the system that I invented, so we are going to connect to each car in the world one baby, and we are going to support monthly based every baby with 2,860 euro per month. So we're going to assist new families from age 0 to age 18. This is our vision. And now we're here to invite you to be part of our society, part of our company, to assist us, to help us, to grow up together and to deliver our promises to the market. So I would like to invite Roberto that will take you and make for you the tour for about our ecosystem, and will explain you more deep how we build it, what we are doing, and how we integrate different sectors on the market to one ecosystem. So ETIOCA, it means electric transition is our call to action. So that's why we're here. Thank you.
Again, good evening, everyone. And I would like to start actually to ask you how much you are aware about mobility. Because we are doing this world tour, and thanks, Mark, we have been also in MYKONOS, after Gibraltar, after UK. Easy transportations, of course, and Morocco, sorry, Morocco as well. And I was asking to my AI app yesterday how people will commute in 10 years. I don't know if they are modeling the future or not. The first thing it's saying, predicting how people will commute in 10 years is a challenging task. But after this, I will say that yes, electric, autonomous vehicles, ride sharing, and mobility as a service is the key driver. And mobility as a service is the base of our business model. So I will try to condense. It's not easy because talking and sharing an ecosystem might require a bit of attention, might require a bit of surprise sometimes. Also to know that when everyone is talking how Tesla is growing around the world, and Geely Group is announcing the next 20 new models by the end of the years, I will also say that the New York Times is saying this just 2 days ago. Peak oil is near. Energy Agency says, but climate change is far from being solved. Why this? Because it's difficult. It's not easy at all. It's difficult to make electric vehicles working. It's difficult to charge them. And it's difficult to achieve the electric transition. So electric transition as a world ambition is difficult because we need infrastructure. We need governments to invest on infrastructure, and we need people to believe on the transition. So among the last year, actually, it was the first year of our newborn, the vehicle, ETIOCA Miner, exactly 1 year ago. We presented in Milan, then we started traveling Europe and the world. And I should say that in the last year, in probably 50 or more occasions like this, people will always chasing me after the meeting, Roberto, how do you manage hydrogen? What about hydrogen? I say, really? You really want to talk about hydrogen? You should know that we are such far away from electric transition before talking about hydrogen. Because communication is doing a great work. Communication is saying, yes, we go green. Yes, we go electric. But then you go out and you don't know how to use your car. And eventually in UK, in London, you see horrible things like using your car from the street illumination, from the street lighting. That is extremely dangerous. Anyhow, what we did, we created something that can work in this direction. The majority of the pollution is not coming from private vehicles. It's coming from professional vehicles. It's coming from vehicles that every day they run for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. I'm saying taxis, I'm saying last mile deliveries, I'm saying service vehicles, ambulances, police, and so on. Of course, the cities, they are doing the best. They are introducing buses, they are increasing the lines of the undergrounds and so on. So of course, we are getting slowly there, but again, oil peak is again here because we are far away from this system. So I was extremely excited almost 2 years ago to join Mark when he told me, Roberto, do you have a dream? Or better, he said, do you work for a dream or you work for something else? I say, oh, let's discuss about this. And I was a bit nerdy. Still, I have the nice discussion before as an analyst, basically. So I was a guy of the numbers. But then when you talk to an Italians about dreams, and then maybe you sing together and you ended up in a nice restaurant, that's the result. So I will start with a video just to stretch a bit of the muscles and wake up again. You saw in person, I would like you to see the vehicle going around the cities. In the last year, we did thousands of kilometers. We have been in the airports. We have been meeting dozens and dozens of taxi companies. And this vehicle is the first one that we decided to launch. You will see that we have a range of different solutions. Okay, so we see one platform, as I said before, 7 different vehicle combinations, the taxi, the delivery, school bus, ambulances, and so on. So all solutions to try to solve the urban mobility. And of course, working with those players, then during the day, they are one of the major, like, runners, and they build kilometers and kilometers each day. I will come back on the taxi and on all the elements, and you have also on this big panel here, and the descriptions of the result of 50,000 questionnaire on professional drivers, how the car of the future should be. Separate cabins and automatic platform and 7+1 seatings and full safety control or rather ADS and so on. The screens, of course, and all the elements, they help us to work in a safe and efficient way every day. So, how we describe ETIOCA? In certain conference, they told me, you are a car maker. No, we are not a car maker, even if we are dealing with governments to build factories, of course. We are not a car maker. We are a service provider company. We are a multi-service company. And this is probably the best explanation of an ecosystem. We have 5 different sectors of activity, and each of them allow us to make this panel here all-inclusive package. Means a new vehicle, full electric, 1 charging per day, 1 free car wash per day, the insurance and the maintenance, with a fixed cost per kilometer. That is in average between 25 and 30% more convenient than current solution in each market. To do this, we need this. I will avoid to go into the small details. I don't want to bother you, because that would be a lot of our analysis being here. From the manufacturing license that allow us to produce 4 different kind of vehicles, cars, trucks, buses, and motorbikes. Nowadays, only Volkswagen Group in the market has the same license. Or the service, you saw the yellow truck that we use to go close to the car and to swap the battery, or our application. We are not a taxi aggregator like Uber or Bolt or Careem. We have our application, we manage our fleet. People, they don't need to pay the fare to Uber. They don't need to pay 25% to Uber or 17% to Bolt. They just need to pay a cost per kilometer and do their own business. And then we have the media part. Remember those screens. You will see later the revenue from the media. We have a really low value in our business model of 300 euro per day per car. That is 1 euro per kilometer. But we can use 30 different advertisers. Means that for the single brand, the cost of ADV will be 0.03 euro or 3 cents per kilometer. And this is extremely strong if you consider that this vehicle can go in the city center, can achieve the best of the area that now they are close to the traffic because it's electric and is a service vehicle. And the last part that I mentioned before is related to the fintech. It's really important, and we started discussing with some of you about this. And yesterday with Joan, we had a long discussion about this, how important it is for us to have our security token. We talk about decarbonization, and we use the carbon credit certificate as underlining of our crypto. Per kilometer, we save between 300 and 500 grams of CO2. Means $74 today. But carbon credits today are $81 per certificate, and the projection is over $100. So we can easily round this to the period of launch in 2024 in market to €1 generated per kilometer. This will come in our app. You will use the app to make your purchase. You have the wallet in your app. You can book the taxi. You can book the services. And you can use the app for everyday living needs. Again, simple, really simple for customers. Customers need simple things. Immediate. Cost per kilometer, that's it. You focus only on driving. To make this, we need a lot of competence. To make this, we need a great vehicle like the one you saw. And that's why among all our acquisition, we decided to buy a company, an Italian company, that now is the art of our research and development. And the design is guided by Mr. Giugiaro, that, by the way, is top 10 car designer in the world, that allow us to respect our promises. So this company that we bought, the name is Cogiola, has a uniqueness in the market because, yes, we have the possibility to go from the creative search to the final production. And among with engineering, 3D modeling, and so on. Today, we step here. We are at the pre-series production. So vehicles, they go directly for crash test, stability test, and so on. And what I mentioned to you before, starting with a huge production capacity since time zero. Last 2 years of SPAC acquisitions for EV on the NASDAQ was horrible. And the reason was, in 90% of the case, the company, they didn't consider the time to market. They didn't consider the fact that having an experimental license didn't allow them to produce more than 500 vehicles per year. So again, automotive industry, high capex, high initial investments, low revenue crash. This allows us, since time zero, date zero, to produce as much as vehicles as we like. And by the way, in the last 60 years, the company that we both worked mostly for 90% of the market, 90% for the major car makers, from Porsche with the last Mission E that we know as a Taycan, or Maserati MC20, or Mascar, or these guys, Lotus, that just have been acquired by Geely Group in China. And in addition, to make it a circular production, we decided to take on board a patent for the production of the energy of our plant. So in each of our plant, we have a waste to energy solution. So we take the non-recyclable plastics, and through a pyrolysis system, we convert in green fuel, we power generators, we power the plant, and we charge the battery. So we have in-house charging of our batteries. This is the Minister of Gibraltar that talks for us.
I want to invite here our important guest, Minister of Gibraltar. The reason why, as Minister for Economic Development in Gibraltar, we are supporting ETIOCA and we're supporting his ideas is because it is a concept that the planet needs. It is a shift in the perception of how we are going to have to live in the future if we're going to survive. That is how big this thing is. But if we go about changing the concept from spending our money to own things to spending our money to use things, then the economics change totally. And what ETIOCA is doing is not just creating
included in the National Economic Plan and sponsored by the National Economic Plan. So the government of Gibraltar is backing ETIOCA because we believe in what it's doing. Where the user pays for the use, not for the ownership, and then pay for the use, pays back to the owner the investment, you've now got a win-win formula. The individuals that use them benefit, and we've got a formula that makes a rewarding experience the investment into quality products, as opposed to investment into products that need replacement, and the sooner the better. So I am supporting ETIOCA because I believe that what they want to do is what we think everybody should be doing. And it requires, I think, a quantum leap in imagination. Doing the same thing that everybody else is doing will only make you money if you're cheaper than the competition. And if you want to do that, you have to go to Asia. You can't do it in Europe. So what you have to do in Europe is to do things that nobody's doing. And then you can make money. ETIOCA is a project that is doing something that nobody else is doing. I cannot tell you it will succeed. You are businessmen, you are able to assess, but I can tell you one thing, that if it does succeed, the success will be highly profitable in my view, and highly beneficial to both the users of the product and the future of the planet. But I'm telling you that the commitment that I have is because I think Mark has got a product that goes beyond what he himself was setting out to do, that it is a disruptive product, and that if it fulfills its potential, it is a model that is repeatable in other areas, and it is giving us a new weapon with which to attack the risk of climate change, which is not just attacking climate change, but saving humanity. There is no greater dedication on any politician to have than to try and ensure that future generations of humans are not in a cycle which is the opposite of the
Why we decide to create an ecosystem? The electric transitions needs more trust. Several companies, more than 15 companies in the last 2 years, they went through bad weathers, then crash in the market, simply because they tried to launch a new electric vehicles, just focusing on selling the car. We are not selling our car. We are giving our cars for free. And this is the biggest contribution we can do to this objective. Having people using the vehicle, having people making more profit than today. Investor side, as I said before, we work with governments. We need to secure, we need to avoid the industry risk, and we need to secure the investors' money. We need to secure the company of the value of our company, because we invest on the long term. And we need to build the new ETIOCA generation. Our final ambition is to have one baby, one car in market. And our charity project is a strong commitment for the next generations. I like to of course, we have deeper analysis and we have third-party evaluations, and I will show you some charts soon. I just want to recap the 3 areas of our business model. The first area is the cost per kilometer. As I mentioned before, this is an average European number, and is 99 cents. The first thing a taxi company told to us in Spain, guys, you're crazy. Low cost. Not at all. Because they think they pay 600 euro per month at Toyota Prius, and then they made the calculations per day, and per day is much less. But then they don't consider that they give 25% to Uber of the total fare. And when they realized that we are, in Spain specifically, 25% more profitable, they said we want to work together. The second stream of revenue is the tokenizations. So our security token based on the carbon credit certificate with our patented system of mining per kilometer. This is also why the name of the vehicle is miner. I can be a miner, yes, solid guy, yes, a miner, but the car is also mining a nice token. And the revenue from the advertising, as I told you before, 3 cents per kilometer if your name is Nike or if your name is the new E. I think all of you guys here, they are good potential clients for the future. We should discuss about this. Okay, just allow me to give some numbers on charity. It's never nice to use charity as a business topic. But in our case, the way it is consistent, 11.5% on total business revenue. This doesn't happen in any company. We are talking of billions on those numbers per year. And this is because we believe that this transaction to electric, to a better world, is also social change. Is what we do to change the community. You know, can I say this? Okay. Last spring, we had initial discussions in Saudi. And eventually in May, Mark said, okay, let's go to Saudi. And before that, let's stay 1 month in Dubai, because in Dubai we meet everyone and it's really fresh weather. So for 1 month we met our investors in Dubai. And eventually we signed an agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And in this agreement, they are investing on us for our production of vehicles and batteries in Saudi as well. And we managed to have on board also RTA, who's the company who's managing taxis, but not only taxis, all the transportation for the Emirates, Emirates Transports, Dubai Taxi, and so on. But they said, you know, we are famous for giving money to everyone. I'm talking of the Public Investment Fund. But we have our internal evaluators, we have our analysts, and so on. So you will go through a third-party evaluating company. So, okay. This is the company. It's a company based in UK. And they made our evaluation. So now it's part of our data room. In our data room, we have more than 500 documents. And this document specifically is more than 100 pages. So it's a really, really long analysis. And I try to extract just few views. First of all, they also analyze the company, how we are structured. Do you have enough people in the right position? Do you invest in marketing? Sorry, I should say our current marketing investment is 0. We decided with Mark to buy our media company, so we internalized all the cost.
And I can say, with 0 marketing budget, we have more than 200,000 pre-orders. 0 marketing budget. Thank you. Continue, please.
And so we organized our company in different subsidiaries, of course. There is subsidiaries was dedicated to the production of the vehicles. The other one was dedicated to the application, the subscription platform, the fintech, of course. And then we have our management team, and we have our technical team working with those guys, our advisor board with people coming from company like Magna Steyr. In the automotive industry, when you say Magna Steyr, is like in the watch industry when you say Apple Watch. Yes, no Rolex, Apple Watch. Because Apple Watch is selling more watches than Rolex today. And Magna Steyr, they are famous for being extremely expensive and the best in class. And eventually their director came to work with us. And it's a nice story that Mark maybe will tell later at dinner, but it came after a really bad initial relation after a pro forma invoice that we decided not to work with them, but to work with him. And we have experts, of course, of international developments, especially in the Arabs market, where you need specific content. And the minister you saw before, and I showed the video, is because he's also part of our board of advisors. So I give you this. At the beginning, I said I started with a question to my AI app on the phone, how mobility will change. And I like to say this about the new generations. You should know that the born in the 2000, actually, now they are 23 years old, only half of them, they take the driving license. Only half. Do you have the driving license? No, you see. And the reason is because the new generation, they care about enjoying life. And I love them. They don't care about driving. They don't care about anything else about experience. And for them, driving is about commuting, is about a service, is about moving from A to B. ETIOCA, with their app, will be part of their life cost. Exactly like Netflix, YouTube, Amazon, Prime, whatever. ETIOCA. I need to go there, I'll take ETIOCA. I need to organize a trip, I'll take ETIOCA, and so on. And for your information, this is the value of the taxi today, 221 billion in terms of revenues, and the projections in 10 years is 367 billion. Yes, we are not counting those that at the airport, they call you, walking with you and say, do you need a taxi? No, no thanks. Because that, I think, we can never monitor here. And here we have a risk map. Those guys, they are lovely because they make a lot of analysis and then they try to convert numbers in pictures, and then it's always an awful result in terms of graphic. But apologies for those. We are placed here with an early stage and default risk, but the default risk is extremely in the green area, so it's considered low with a high impact of business. If you sit here, is the problem. And they have this really nice index where they put a percentile, and they give you a success percentile of 82.63, really sharp. So I would like to check as a final result, as it seems to be a unique opportunity, high potential investments, and moderate risk if you are over 60%. And then they made our valuation, of course, the valuation of the business model with all the production plant in place. Our major hub of production in Morocco is capable of 2 million vehicles per year. You know, in the automotive industry, when you talk of numbers, the numbers are always huge because, of course, the base is high. Today, initial valuation of the model is 60 billion with the IPO that will come soon. We are running for NASDAQ in the next spring, 2024. So these days they are really intense for us because we are going through all kind of auditing and check again. And this is the valuation that is divided per different area. with an additional discount of 56. And then this is our final discounted pre-IPO valuation of 47 billion. I'll make an example. VinFast. Do you know VinFast company? EV from Vietnam. IPO 40 billion. After 3 months, it was Bloomberg 2 days ago, that was nice, we I shared with Jess, 200 billion. And people say, how is it possible? How is it possible? It's possible because they have production capacity, really small free float in the market, really high request. This is why. Our expectation of free float in the market will be from 6 to 7%. We are still fighting with our advisors. They want to be higher, we want to be lower. So, and this again is to protect our investors. Those are our friends along the journey. Mark missed to say that we have governments on board. So we have huge part of the money coming from the governments, but we don't want to be the next governmental company. So we need strong dreamer, like I did, on board. We need people, they have competence to add. I mean, people, they have competence in blockchain, for example, or people, they have competence in artificial intelligence, or people, they have competence in advertising. To make our model successful and to consolidate and win together. We are now going through the preparation of our pre-series, and for those who will ask, I know you will ask how much is rising, the value is between 250 and 300 million, and is the value for us to prepare all the pre-series productions. Bad news, yes, we will destroy at least 25 vehicles, destroy. You bring to the NCAP, Europe NCAP, crash test, finito. But it's necessary, and it's necessary for us also to buy existing solutions in market that they will speed up the rollout of our strategic plan. So, I mean, existing solutions in terms of spare parts for the production, in terms of technology, in terms of security for our business. This is all from my part. I don't know if you have questions. I guess tons of questions. I have some in my mind. I'll tell you immediately. Our vehicle has unlimited range, but with a single battery pack can do 350 real kilometer, not the WLTP process. I can say that we are not for sales, and the cost of production, even if we are not for sales, most asked questions are, how much does it cost the vehicle? Roughly 50,000 euro. We are targeting 47,000 euro. I'll tell you that we have secured the production vertical of the battery production because we have a key investor in the lithium industry. So we are securing the part of producing our battery cells and battery pack. But I know you have tons of questions. Usually at this time I feel in a corner and everyone is punching me. And then we become friend again. Thank you.
One minute.
Really, both of you, and you can see why we're so pleased and proud to have ETIOCA and Mark and Roberto and Marco here. A fascinating view of how to think really about the outcome. And I personally think one of your biggest contributions is going to be the resituating of the family and the connection between the family and the economy and the society and industry, because that was the starting point. You know, how you spoke about it is what does it take to take care of a child? And very few entrepreneurs kind of start from that fundamental bottom up. Most people want to have children. What does it take to take care of a child, and then for the society to foster that? So well done. I just want to commend you for that fundamental thinking and so forth. We have we have time for a couple of questions here. We're going to be talking about this for a very long time, but we also have some wonderful speakers. So let's go with 3. I think I saw Evelina, and then that's James, yep. And then we have Reza. Let's go for, thank you. Oh, that's one, Roberto, thank you so much.
First of all, thank you for a great insight in such a modern industry. And since I've noticed that you covered like almost every stage of the production, I would like to ask the most popular question from the fuel industry that usually people ask, like Tesla developers and every project like that. Like lithium batteries are not that easy to recycle. So when it's an eco-friendly project, this is usually the first question that pops up. How are you going to recycle the batteries? So my interest is, have you already found a solution for this issue? Or like, what are your thoughts about that? Thank you.
Great questions, really technical, I would say. And yes, we are using semi-solid state battery. For those you're not aware, are the next generation of lithium battery. We are separating the cooling system from the battery pack. That usually is extremely difficult to take out. Just to give you an idea, battery packs, current battery packs, Tesla battery packs are made like single batteries, single cylinders, and they have like a snake who's going through who's the cooling system. In our battery pack, the cooling system is a mat, and we managed to have all the. I'm becoming nerdy, so sorry on this, but we managed to have all the negative polos on the one side. That is the part that is eating most. So we can chill the battery the proper way, but when we recycle, we can take out that part, okay? So that is a key topic, is something that the markets, they ask for.
Thank you so much. I love, as a founder and entrepreneur, the vision, and thank you for bringing it into the world. One question a bit quicker. The first one is just, is there a minimum that they have to spend per month? For example, if the driver goes on holiday for 2 weeks, and whatever it is if you're just giving the vehicles, that's one. And the second one is about autonomous vehicles. So obviously we've got the driver, and I'd love to know just from what's going on, the autonomy of the world and autonomous vehicles.
We have in our agreement 2 conditions, the kilometer per day and the numbers of years. And our vehicles can be used in multiple shifts, so you can share the vehicle with another driver. So you guarantee that you have the minimum kilometer per day. And that's the question regarding the minimum kilometers. And then there is the question on autonomous. Our vehicles is already with whole components and assistance, ADS and radar, to run autonomous, but our company choice is to offer a super safe service. So even if the car is going alone, we will always have a driver on board. That in case of urgency, in case of any necessity, is there and is ready to take action. Huge difference. Our vehicle, the driver does not decide where to go, who to pick up, yes, no. Our driver is a professional driver who's focusing on driving. The car is giving the input, you have to go here, and then you have to go there.
Roberto, I very much liked the presentation, and also the fact that you went from scratch, designing, your concept wasn't just to evolve something which is there, you kind of thought out of the box. So my congratulations to you and your team. I see a lot of different risk factors in a business model and etc. But we can talk offline. There's one thing that I don't really understand is why IPO? At this point in time, low float IPO is, to me, probably the riskiest thing you said in the entire presentation. And this is, I would imagine, one of my tasks is to, find things like this. Why invest at this?
I like your question, thanks. It's very nice question. So I'm asking you a question. So we signed the agreement with Moroccan government that they're going to invest 3.5 billion to build for us in the next 2 years gigaplant where we can produce 2 million cars per year. So it's huge amount. And we need to bring from the house 30%. I don't think so that all of you guys here we will collect 30% easily tomorrow.
I know people who can write that check tomorrow, but that's
Okay.
not the, that's
The-
not the point.
It's just one country. It's just one country. So in Morocco, we are going to do the gigafactory, produce the parts. In Spain, it's assembling plant. In Latvia, it's assembling plant. In Romania, it's assembling plant. In Dubai, it's assembling plant. So we have today 5 to 7 locations, 5 to 7 countries for the assembling plants for 100,000 cars per year. And each plant, the evaluation of each plant, it's about 3 billion investment, where the government participating 70% and 30% we have to bring from the home. So that's why we are going public, and we have our strategy. So the one terms it's industrial activities, and another things is this project has to be public.
So I think
Yeah. We are doing that as well. We are doing that as well, and we can talk about this.
I think that's exactly what we want to do. Let's talk about it at dinner, because I'm concerned that we won't get through the rest of the presentations. I think what we should do is tonight at dinner, the gala dinner is going to be here. I think we continue to talk about ETIOCA, and we have more of a Q&A session this evening, because I think we've got probably 2 hours of questions. I know I do, and I'm fascinated, and I want to give you all to digest and come back. But let's take a break now. I think we need to take a break, have a coffee. Would you please join me in thanking Roberto and Mark for an incredible vision, incredible. We're really, the FTE. The FTE and Viva Investment Partners is going to do the best job that we possibly can to help you with the goals that you have, because we think they're really worthy goals. We think this is a beneficial business model. This is a way to link the goals of not just driving the profits of the economy